G5Jefftv. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button as you come on in. Got the VP of operations for the channel, VP Shane, is in the building. What's going on, bro?
Everything's good.
All right. Listen, we had big news come through the media waves. Well, in Shane's book, he's a top 10 heavyweight. In my book, he's slightly out of the top 10, but, you know, really good heavyweight. Michael Hunter in Matchroom decided to part ways, or it was Matchroom that decided not to renew the contract of Michael Hunter. I think Michael Hunter is a really, really good fighter. You can make the argument that he beat Alexander Povetkin. If I'm not mistaken, I think I had Povetkin. I think Shane had it for Hunter 7-5. Am I correct?
8-4.
He had it 8-4.
I watched the fight this week with my brother. My brother thought Povetkin won, and me and him went round by round, and we counted the rounds. And even him, he done his own scorecard, and then he ended up changing his thing to 8-4 as well.
So I have to watch.
I recommend everybody watch it back again.
Yeah, I watched it live, and I thought Povetkin won watching it live, but a lot of times I have a different scorecard when I watch it again. But Michael Hunter, really, really good heavyweight. Eddie Hearn decided not to renew his contract, and this is right up Shane's alley, because Michael Hunter, I'm a fan of Michael Hunter, but like Michael Hunter, that's Shane's guy right there. You know what I'm saying? The heavyweight. So
100%.
With that being said, we're gonna let the VP of operations Shane vent. Go ahead, bro.
I'm a vent. This is the only video. This is the only video I've vented, because I'm gonna start off by saying I have a very, very soft touch for Michael Hunter. Firstly, because I actually like his fighting style, but secondly, because he's an actual genuine individual. Like I don't know him personally. I've spoken to him a few times on Instagram, but I won't say like I know him like that. But I just like him as a fighter. So that's the first thing. And I normally don't, you know me, I don't normally have like favorites or anything. I like guys fighting. I don't care about how good about their personality or not. It's about their fighting stuff. But I do have a that. But I'm gonna start off by saying, Frank Warren has always said about Eddie Hearn and Hearn, they both aren't boxing in their account. So they don't make decisions about they don't make boxing decisions, they make financial decisions. And I've always been on the fence with that, but after seeing it done in Hunter, I don't only agree with that narrative. I'm willing to run, because you can't tell me with a boxing hat on, from a boxing perspective, that it's sensible to get rid of Michael Hunter. Because his explanation, I don't know if you know his explanation. You know his explanation why?
No.
So for those who don't know, Eddie Hearn said the reason why he didn't renew the contract was because with the pandemic, he couldn't guarantee Michael Hunter 50-50 fights, and he couldn't guarantee that he would be able. The schedule was too clogged up, and he couldn't see where Michael Hunter fit in. The reason why that is so is because on Dylan White's undercard was Kuzma versus Crowley. Both of those fighters Hunter beat. So you're continuing to work with two fighters that Hunter beat already. It doesn't make sense. And the headliner of that event, Michael Hunter, in my eyes, he won. Michael Hunter. And it doesn't make sense from a boxing perspective for you to say that you didn't have enough space, because there's guys who are either on his level or beneath that you've made space for. So it doesn't make sense. I made that decision solely off financial return. It doesn't have nothing to do with boxing. So when I put that into perspective, I'm like, you made that decision off money. And the reason why I say that's so important is because I look at Deontay Wilder. Other than outside of Deontay Wilder, Michael Hunter is easily the best fighter in America. Just signed a big deal with the zone in America, and you should have been really pushing his career to the. This guy really should be a superstar in America. If you look at it from a perspective, firstly, he's trained by Hearn Matchroom. His dad was a former fighter, a good fighter. He's a former heavyweight, he's moved to heavyweight. So he's really a promoter's dream because he doesn't put on boring fights. I mean, the Povetkin fight was entertaining. All of the fights he's in is entertaining. I don't see how this relationship has not blossomed. I don't see it. It just doesn't make sense to me. I know it might sound like I'm making these comments of emotion, but it's confusing because from a boxing perspective, there's no logic behind it. None whatsoever.
Question. As far as Michael Hunter, do you have any idea how much he was guaranteed per fight?
No, I don't know how much he was getting paid per fight, and I do feel like that could have come into it. And as I said, it's a financial because it can't be from a boxing perspective. But the reason why I feel like my rebuttal to you, Jeff, will then be Eddie Hearn put him in a fight with someone called Maldonado. I think his name was Maldonado. He put him on the AJ undercard and fought Povetkin. I think those are the two fights he had on the Matchroom. And Kuzman as well. He fought Kuzman.
Right.
So he fought 3 fights on the Matchroom. Other than Povetkin, I don't think any of those fights were... I mean, Kuzman was a good fight, but it wasn't a fight that's going to generate a lot of money because it wasn't on a big card. I think Bivol was the headliner, or one of them were the headliner for that fight.
Right.
So none of them were going to generate that much money. But the reason why that's stupid is because this is the time you cash out on Michael Hunter. You have a stable of heavyweight like Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora, Dylan White, Alexander Usyk, David Price. There's 5 fighters right there that is still in your stable that you could have made a fight. So even if you're saying the financial, that still doesn't make sense because money in it. And the fights that I've just named make more money than the fights you've invested in. So basically, it doesn't make any sense even from a financial perspective. You're just saying, oh, you're paying him a lot of money. You pay him a lot of money for crap fights. So now it's time to cash him out and fight a 50-50 with a Chisora or Parker. You get rid of him, it still doesn't make sense, even from that perspective.
Yeah, when I heard the news, kind of didn't make any sense to me either because I'm like, Eddie Hearn is in the heavyweight division business. He has Anthony Joshua. The goal of every promoter is to have as many in-house fights as possible. So you want to sign as many heavyweights as possible. So your cash cow, Anthony Joshua, can have a bunch of in-house fights, keep the money in-house, and you don't have to deal with no other promoters. So for that reason alone, it didn't make any sense to me. Another reason it didn't make sense is Eddie Hearn is always talking about tapping into the American market. So he could have actually took Michael Hunter and actually built him in the United States, and he's an American guy. So it's not like you're taking a UK guy, you're trying to build him in the United States. You're taking an American guy and you're building him in the United States. So that's a whole different ball game. So and that's, boxing reasons, but non-boxing reasons with the money, I just look at it like I don't think they thought Michael Hunter was worth whatever the guarantee was. Because when you re-sign a contract with somebody, that guarantee per fight is a part of the negotiation. Like, always compare Terrence Crawford to Tim Bradley. And a lot of the reason is because they got the same guarantee every fight. Bob Arum gave Tim Bradley a guaranteed 3.5 per fight, and he's giving Terrence Crawford a guaranteed 3.5 for every fight. So I don't know if it was the guaranteed amount that stopped Eddie Hearn and Matchroom for actually re-signing Michael Hunter, but I think it's going to be a mistake. I think it's going to be a mistake because I think...
The reason why...
No, go ahead.
the reason why I feel like that would be a big mistake for getting rid of Hunter is because I look at it and I'm like, you say Eddie Hearn has a big stable, but his stable is big on the surface. If you actually look at it, Chisora probably on his way out. AJ and White, they're probably his main guys. Povetkin on his way out. So you look at it and you go, Bergman on his way up. All of these other guys he has, they're just recycled fighters. The Dave Allens, the David Prices, all of those other guys that he's recycling, they all fighters he lost many times. They just recycling. I don't see how you have a big hole in the heavyweight division. You're lucky now that you got the cash cow and you got the mandatory for WBC mandatory for WBO. Obviously you've got Kulev and Jefftv, but you're lucky in that sense. But if they lose, well, who are they gonna fight to beat? You see my point? Who are they gonna fight to build up? Because really and truly, I remember Kalasaulim talking about the heavyweight division tournament, because there's a lot of, remember, we always talk about the lower tier fights. I mean, people from number 1 to number 30 when it comes to in the heavyweight division. There's so many, we can make so many great fights with that. The person who has the most heavyweight, the person who's gonna basically be pulling all the cards. By getting rid of your heavyweights, just giving artillery to somebody else. I just think it's one of the worst decisions Matchroom could have made.
Now, as far as Michael Hunter is concerned, is there a promoter out there you feel like is a good fit for Michael Hunter?
This might sound stupid, but I would actually want to see him with Frank Warren and Bob Arum. The reason why I say that is because one, when Frank Warren takes a fighter from Eddie Hearn, he does his best to make that fighter do well, because it's like brownie points. It's like, right, look what I've done for the fighter that you lost. Because when he took Frampton and Warrington from Eddie Hearn, he invested so much money in those guys because they were former Eddie Hearn fighters.
Right.
And it was like,
right.
And another reason why I think it's a good thing is because Frank Warren has Dubois, Frank Warren has Joyce, and Frank Warren has Fury. They're 3 fights that I wouldn't mind seeing Michael Hunter. Bob Arum has Takam. Bob Arum has Oscar Rivas. So yeah, there's 5 fights right there that I think will be good for. And he has Kubrat Pulev as well.
Pulev, right. Yeah, I like that. I like that combination. To be honest with you, I think even Al Heyman might take a shot at Michael Hunter, because he don't have any really good American heavyweights. I know our guy BoxingFirst Vlog would be upset at this, but Adam Kovnatsky is not moving the needle as far as I'm concerned. No. You have F.A. Ajagba, good fighter, but I don't know if he's elite or top level. Michael Hunter could sign with Al Heyman, and he outside of Wilder, of course. But with the dent in his head and all that, we don't know what's gonna happen with with Wilder. But he can step into Al Heyman's stable.
The problem with that is Al Heyman doesn't have a belt. You see my point? So he doesn't have a hold in the heavyweight division right now.
Right. But Al Heyman, he needs an American heavyweight. I think he sees the writing on the wall as far as Deontay Wilder and what's going on with him. Once Wilder is gone, he doesn't have anything else at heavyweight. I think Michael Hunter would be a really good look for him. It's not the best fit for Michael Hunter. Say it again. Say it again, bro.
I said Michael Hunter versus Luis Ortiz it could be a potential fight for him to make as well.
I think he beats Luis Ortiz.
I'll be honest. This is not just detach myself from my emotions from my corner because I do like him, he's a good fighter. But I don't. I think he gives 90% of the fighters in the division a really hard time because he's a
Yeah,
really good fighter.
I but see, I agree with that. I agree with that because he's one of the few guys that has a style at heavyweight where he can go up against anybody and he can go in with his regular style and he'll have a legitimate shot against pretty much everybody from a style perspective. If you're fighting the guy, the brawler, he's gonna be able to outbox him. If you're fighting the guy that like the kind of fight on the inside, fight in the trenches, he can do that as well. He showed you he can go 12. He's intelligent inside of the ring. He's relatively young, like what I mean. He's 31, but he's
Yeah.
relatively young.
He don't
Um,
have a lot of miles on the clock when he was
not a
young. Like he's
right,
31. He ain't been in a war.
not a lot of tread on the tires. Definitely. Um,
And even though he's coming up from cruiserweight, a lot of people don't know this guy has a respectable power. He dropped Kuzmin,
yeah,
he stopped Ustinov and Bacoli, and he hurt Povetkin several times in that fight.
yes, very respectable power. I don't think there's anybody he can't give a go at heavyweight. But I gotta
He
agree with
gave
you,
Usyk a
Frank.
go, and Usyk is arguably he gave Usyk a very good fight, and Usyk is technically better than everybody at heavyweight. Facts.
Yeah, I mean, this Michael Hunter he's a good fighter, man. Like he's a good fighter. Like he's the type guy, like he's not exceptional with anything, but he's like good at everything. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's like a B across the board, and in some places he's like a B plus. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it's gonna be interesting to see where he goes. I think Frank Warren and Top Rank, I think that'll be a good combination for him. Because they're gonna put him right in the middle of things. They're gonna put him right in the middle of things. In the heavyweight division. And if he plays his cards right, yeah, he could get a shot at Fury. Down the line. Once all of this settles. But yeah, I think this is a mistake on Eddie Hearn's part. But
Big
we're
time.
gonna see how it turns out. You got any final words as far as this situation is concerned, Shane?
I mean, I just I hope this doesn't stunt his career because we've seen many fighters who made switches just at the point of them, starting to their career starting to spike, and then it just starts to plateau. I hope it doesn't plateau. I hope it doesn't mean that his career plateaus, but I mean, yeah, I just hope we get to see some entertaining fights from him because he's a good fighter. That's basically it, man. I just feel like Eddie Hearn will end up ruin the decision he's made.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't be sitting on the sidelines for a long period of time. Whoever he ends up signing with, hopefully they'll just put him in the ring immediately. I mean, Top Rank got an open spot because our guy, Mr. Big Baby Miller, Mr. Finest Juices. He gonna be off the roster for a while, so you might as well replace him with a solid guy like Michael Hunter. His he's not on the juices. Solid fighter, good background. Just seemed like an overall good guy. So I would love to see him get an opportunity. He deserves an opportunity at a main event on ESPN over somebody like Big Baby Miller. You know what I'm
Easily.
saying? So hopefully Michael Hunter, can be able to continue his career, like you said, and really just make the fights that we want to see. But on behalf of G5 Jeff TV and VP Shane, we are out.